Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. Don't let anybody poison your mindset with things that they are dealing with in their daily lives, as far as stress, depression, insecurities, flaws. Like, they're projecting that stuff onto you. Don't let anybody project anything onto you.
It's a wicked industry, so when you do get to that point, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna sell your soul, or you gonna stand on everything that you was taught and what you was brought up in, or you gonna let somebody remold you into something that you're not, or bring out the demons?
She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say man the same, not me though, I bring the flame. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things.
Live. Coming to you live from Washington, D.C. Today on the podcast, we had two special guests, and I would love for you guys to introduce yourself.
I am Solow, Summer like the season, Solow with a W at the end. The Apex Predator, the Legend Killer.
I'm just Nissi Nicole, you know what I'm saying? My stage name is Nissi Nicole. My real name is Anicia. Anicia, I love my name, so, you know, my people know my government. Anicia Bonsu.
You said the full name?
Anicia Bonsu.
Bonsu?
Mm-hmm.
The French?
No, it's Ghanaian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I believe it's the king of Ashanti that he had the name.
Oh.
Osaya Bonsu, so that's the name of my father. And my first name is my mom's middle name. So her name is...
Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
So, are they very supportive with your music?
So, you know, I have an African father, so he's more so like strict and like more so on the analytical. So go to college, go to school, which I didn't do. I graduated during COVID, so I was still in my senior year before, you know, the whole virus came out, when the virus came out, and then when they decided what they want to do with everybody in school. So that was crazy. Literally the day before I was supposed to take my SAT, they were like, school shut down, like nobody's coming back. And I'm like, okay, so what am I to do now? I tried to apply for colleges and stuff like that, but they were like, no, you need your SAT. And I'm like, okay, well, it just wasn't meant to be. You know, God had a different plan for me. And it's crazy because before school was about to end, I had this question, like, what am I going to do next? Like, I know, you know, modeling has always been my passion, my first love, but I'm like, can I really make it out here just being a model? I should want more for myself, you know, it's just the imagery thing. Like, I should really want more. Like, how can I take that and elevate it? You know, I need to go to school, this and that. You know, they push that as far as like, go straight to college when you get out of school. But after a while, and how things turned out, I was just like, that's not meant for me.
Well, you can always come back to it too, because a lot of like influencers or artists, they also become models, and they're seen on TV.
There's nothing wrong with school. I'm not saying that, nothing like that, but I just knew it just wasn't within my path or my route at that time. But later on down the line, I don't mind, because now I think I have a better idea of everything that I want to do. Having that time within quarantine, like, even though it was a tough time for most people, a lot of people lost their lives, but I feel like a lot of people gained lives during that time, because they had time to sit with themselves and just take a break. Like, it's like the world was on pause and you really had time to just be with yourself, regardless if you was losing your mind or you was regaining it.
That's beautiful. So did you guys, because the protests happened during COVID too. What do you guys think of like that whole Black Lives Matter movement, and when it happened versus what it turned into, or what people think of now?
I'm gonna say,
it's a hot take.
I feel like it was like two sides to the coin, because I mean, first things first, Black Lives Matter is owned by a white man. That's just to begin with. Not to say like race has anything to do with it, but it's like the things that you fight for, you always have to analyze and really like take the time to realize like, what are we fighting for? Because like on the other side of the coin, you have people that were looting, you have people that were rioting, you have people that were robbing, killing, stealing. So it's like, what are we really fighting for? Are we really fighting for Black lives? Are we really trying to, you know, uplift Black lives? Are we trying to motivate Black lives? Are we trying to, project Black lives and put us into a higher standard or whatever we want to do for our people? But it's like at the same time, on the other side of that, you have people that were doing positive things, like people that were protesting, but they were going about it in a way that was more like, peaceful, Also, like, they were trying to do things behind the scenes as far as like working with people, working with certain businesses to get more of an outreach for us. So it's like it's really two sides of a different coin. But what I do is I always look at things neutral. I mean, I don't really like to look at things on biased side, rather if it's negative or positive. I just try to see like what people were dealing with and be more empathetic to like really dive into their shoes and like what were you thinking when you did what you did. But in the same token, I feel like we have to take more accountability because like we can't really keep blaming other races and ethnicities for everything that we're doing per se, for as like the murder, like I said, the robbings, kidnappings, rape, or whatever. Like we have to take accountability and realize like we are part of the problem as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not just white, it's not just Asian, it's not just Hispanic, it's not just whomever ethnicity or race or culture or background or whatever. Like it's us too. And as sooner we can take accountability and be responsible for what we're doing, and we're responsible for our part of, you know, society, I feel like the sooner that we can get back to everybody having unity, because it's a group thing, it's a unified thing. It's not just a one person thing, it's not a one group thing. But I think that we get that confused sometimes because of history. You know, a lot of things going on with deception, corruption. We always get construed by history, and I get it. Like I get it 100% because, you know, my ancestors were in it as well. Like I still know people personally who were in certain times of segregation. Like I know how it is, but it's like at the same time we have to grow. We can't just keep being in this shell and just having this like chip on our shoulder wherever we go. You know, we have to be one with ourselves, know ourselves, be true to ourselves. Because you can't be true to yourself if you're being ignorant and disrespectful to other people. You know what I'm saying? You have to be accepting to one another, like regardless of the color of your skin or wherever you're from. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is the same person. We're all human at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We just be human.
Right.
I feel like we all just need to take a human approach more so to taking a race approach or a cultural approach or where you're from, how you were raised, how you talk, your slang. Like just take a human approach. Be accepting to each person. Be more compassionate to one another. Have more sympathy. Have more empathy. Like and realize this is somebody's daughter. This is somebody's son. This is somebody's mom. This is somebody's father, grandparent, whatever. Like. Just be more empathetic and sympathetic. I feel like we're losing out on that. Everybody is just like looking out for self. It's become a really selfish world that we're living in right now. Nobody likes to really just think about anybody else. It's just like, yeah, I'm just caring about me and my money, me and my business, me and my progression. Like, I don't care what you're doing. It's just about being myself.
And that's kind of what we were talking about, the message that they're pushing in music. Is that's where it's like me, independent. I'm going to think about myself, get my bag. Screw that person over, shoot that person, or whatever it is. It's always me against them, it seems. But do you think that without all of the segregation and turmoil that happened, especially with like racially, that hip hop, do you think hip hop kind of came from that? You know, like it was a way of expressing all of those things during that time, and then it's evolved to what it is today? Or like, where do you think hip hop came from?
So what I think hip hop came from, like me personally, just from like knowing the background and history of hip hop, I feel like hip hop came from a place where it was an outreach for basically Black people to get more of an understanding of themselves, basically, because we couldn't really discuss that with everyone. I feel like at one point in time, not even one point in time, but still sometimes now, where I feel like we can't really discuss certain things with people. It just feels like sometimes we feel like only our people can understand because we may have been through certain things. Just like, you know, it could be somebody of Asian descent. They feel like, you know, other Asians or anybody of another ethnicity inside of Asian descent, they probably feel like, okay, only us can understand it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just something that we have all come from a place where we just need an understanding of each other, and that was our understanding of each other. It was like a slang. It was like putting our history in the context of music, putting our everyday life in the context of music, basically getting more in touch with ourselves and also getting more in touch, you know, being vulnerable with ourselves, being vulnerable with the community, like just getting a community, building a community. That was the community. Hip hop is a culture. I feel like it's not more so of a genre. Hip hop is more so a culture. Hip hop is the culture of Blacks. It's the culture of anybody of Black descent. Well, I can't even say Black. Anybody indigenous descent. I feel like we are indigenous. So I would say indigenous descent that was our culture, that was our background, that was our history, that was our upbringing. That's what hip hop was. That's what it still is to this day. But I feel like over the years, it's got misconstrued to the point where it's become like a weapon. It's not a weapon. It shouldn't be used as a weapon. It should be used as something like a promise, like to hold to one another. Like, yeah, we understand each other. We're here with one another. We're equal. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like more over the years it's been misconstrued, but I feel like that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is a culture. It's an understanding. It's a promise. It's like you dapping up somebody like, yeah, you understand me. Like that's what hip hop is for each other and for all of us. But
what do you think about the appropriation of hip hop?
So I know a lot of people would disagree and agree, but I don't really feel like necessarily like other races joining into the culture is a bad thing. I feel like it's just how you go about it. Like I feel like don't go about it in a sense of you know exactly what somebody is dealing with and how they're dealing with it. Go into a sense of, okay, I understand what you dealt with and here's how I can help you to, you know, basically get more in touch with what you're dealing with, and also how I can help you and benefit what you're doing in you. Like you have to understand, okay, when you dive into hip hop, like this is still the hip hop culture of indigenous people who also understand like I can do something with it as well, but just I feel like it don't enter it with a selfish mindset. Basically, don't enter it with a selfish mindset as if you know what's going on, as if this is something that you created. Ignorance. Basically, don't enter ignorance is bliss. Don't enter it with ignorance. Enter it with a promise, and enter it with a very like prosperous mindset. Basically, like you wanted to flourish, not you wanted to be destruction and destroyed. Like that's how I feel like you should enter it. Like Mac Miller, for example, I would give that's a perfect example of how I feel like somebody could enter hip hop, because he divulged into hip hop in a different perspective. It was versatile, it was creative, and also he accepted and he acknowledged other people inside of hip hop that was the history of it, and he dove that and made it into his own style. And this music, it was very proactive. It was like beneficial. It was progressive. You know, it was like I'm talking about my feelings. I'm talking about how I want to go about with the world. I want to talk about a progressive mindset. I want to talk about basically structuring how hip hop, you know, is already, but also adding my touch to it so we all can benefit at the same time without me butting in and disrupting what you all got going on. That's why I feel like that's how people should enter hip hop, the culture of hip hop, and not enter it with a negative perspective. Enter it with a progressive mindset, basically.
So to be the like devil's advocate, in a way, like you're kind of putting a line in the sand, saying this is how I think it should be. But then what you were saying before about race and like how we should be accepting. So like I'm trying to gauge like where that divide is and why you're so adamant about that line in the sand with hip hop.
I would say the only reason what I would say is, and this could go back to different things and like deeper than music. The only way I would say is certain things that I feel like we can still be accepting in, but I feel like it just has to be a moment of acknowledgement. So it's like, for example, I can step into a place where I can just be going out to eat or whatever, and I can get eyes looked at me like from my hair, from my skin, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, okay, I'm accepting, like, I know you all are looking at me a certain type of way because you see it's different, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, I'm not going to make a big thing about it. So it's kind of like a thing like that. It's like, I accept that this is you all space. You know what I'm saying? This is a place that you feel like I'm disrupting right now. But I'm not doing anything to disrupt it. I'm coming in here very calm manner. I'm coming here being respectful. I'm coming here acknowledging everybody. I'm saying hello when I walk through the door. I'm smiling. I'm greeting people. That's what I mean when I say enter hip hop with a progressive mindset. I enter in the door in a restaurant with a progressive mindset. I say hello to everybody. I don't disrupt anybody's peace. I'm smiling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being too loud. I'm just being myself, you know what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say be. That's how you be accepting in both paths with yourself and also with other people. So I feel like that's how you can do that with hip hop. Like you enter with that type of mindset, enter with acknowledgement and progressiveness.
Like being authentic with your message and not trying to project.
Yeah, not trying to project it and falsify it. Don't like how we projected with our EP Dead Image. Like don't enter hip hop with a dead image. Enter with something that's more true and genuine, because with true and genuine we already going to gravitate it and we're going to accept it, because like people, like I said, like Mac Miller, when he entered into the game we were already accepting of him. We're like, yeah, he cool, you know what I'm saying? We like him, we love him, because he was accepting to us, he was accepting to himself. We can tell he was his true genuine self. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lil Dickies, People love Lil
What do you
Dicky.
think about him?
I think Lil Dicky's cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I like his music, you know, it's comedic. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we need that though. Like sometimes we need some fun party, like just to have fun, just to take a load off sometimes, not be so serious all the time. Like I like it. It's cool. Like it's cool. It's some fun stuff. You know, we need more stuff like that.
What do you think of the song White Power?
I like it's cool because I like it's the comedic of it. Like we have to laugh at ourselves sometimes. It's like comedy. It's like Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Bernie Mac. Like you can make jokes about yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You can make jokes about other people sometimes without us being like, okay, we can't do that as racist. Like no, just like lay back and have fun sometimes. Like we don't always have to be so serious. Like that's another reason why I say let's be more accepting to ourselves. Like we know how we are sometimes. You know how you are sometimes. Like, why can't we just laugh about it together?
Yeah.
Like, why we always gotta make a big thing sometimes? Like, oh, they said this, they said that. Like, stop being so sensitive. Like,
music should be able to bring people together.
Yeah, like, let's bring each other together by laughing at each other. Like, that's how we always have been. And that's another reason, like, you know, we needed hip hop to do that because I feel like another way that, you know, as we go about us as people, sometimes we can be a little overbearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, with the jokes, the comedy, the joning, sometimes it can come off a little overbearing. So it's like as I said, that's another reason why we have hip hop. Hip hop was the way of the outreach that we can just say that without, you know, backlash. We could just get off of how we wanted to talk and how we wanted to speak and how we wanted to convey it without somebody saying, oh, we don't like this, or oh, because it's like it was for us at first. So it's like other people have become accepted to it by becoming an accepting to themselves. And it's like, okay, we can be accepting to it now. We can understand it. That's why hip hop is so popular as it is now. It's probably like the most popular genre now because of that fact now. Because people are becoming more accepting with themselves and they're like, you know what, it's not that bad. You know, it's cool. Like I can vibe with it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's definitely just, I think it's just have to be more accepting. I feel like we just have to be more empathetic and sympathetic. I feel like that's just the answer to everything, really. Yeah.
As far as like entering hip hop and how to approach it, I just think it's all about being respectful because just us as, you know, indigenous people, or African American, Black, whatever you want to say, I could say like there's a lot of things that we feel like, oh, now we just feel like there's a lot of things that were created or started and then it seems like it's got taken away or we got discredited just because of, you know, the color of our skin, or somebody else of a different race can come in and just do it and it's way more accepted just because of the color of their skin. It's like, but in the same token, it's kind of like we build this up in a sense. So it's just about not coming in being ignorant and also respecting the ones who paved the way, regardless of race. Like even if you're the same color as me, it's still about being respectful because these are the people who paved the way. Like you gotta give respect where respect is due as far as like with legends and stuff like that. You can't just come in like I'm that bitch. I mean you can, but still at the same token you gotta understand who really even paved the way for you to even have the opportunity to even stand here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why, you know, sometimes like I feel like the music industry is tainted because people was just coming in with nonsense and stuff like that, and then also like not paying attention to the blueprint of what, you know, people have built through, you know, hip hop and music and just like the full-on structure. Not saying you have to take on the full blueprint, but at the same token, you gotta respect it because it's what worked. It's what's there. It was the influence. It was the inspiration. Believe it or not, it was part of your inspiration of what started you to even round up within that area as far as like music and stuff like that.
So how do you pay respect to those people? Like, is it in the way you rap or what you rap about? Like, how would you suggest people pay respect?
It's like a brand.
It's
like a brand.
That is like acknowledgement. Not stealing things, you know, because artists, they get real sensitive about their stuff like that. Like, don't come in just taking something without acknowledging where it came from. You know, I think that's.
Who do you think is kind of stealing from who? Like, what artist would you say now?
I want to say, I can't give you particularly, but I would just say like Nicki Minaj. She's a real influential like female rapper. So a lot of people come in the game kind of sounding like her or taking little things from her as far as like personality wise and traits like that. And you can see it because it's like she's a prominent figure. You can see her personality shows, you know. And then so when somebody else comes in, it's kind of like they got the same flow. They kind of, you know, got the same mannerisms and stuff
You
like
think Cardi
that.
B kind of took a little bit of Nicki Minaj's energy? Or did you think she already had that?
I wouldn't say she took her energy, but the
Or
same
borrowed
token,
it.
I think it's again the media again putting them against each other, and it came out to be something. Like I feel like they're their own two separate people. But when you have somebody coming for the top spot, or you feel like they're in the limelight and it's potential, now it's like competition. They're gonna put you against each other, and now it's like okay, like she want to be like her, she like this, but I can't say she want to be like her. I don't know. But at the same token, I wouldn't put Cardi B and Nicki Minaj in the same ring because we sat there and we watched Nicki grind and push her pen hard, and then you know. Not to discredit Cardi B and stuff like that, because she's a dope artist as well. But, you know, I just feel like it's a different level of respect because of what Nicki did for the industry and stuff like that to even pave the way for Cardi B's and the Ice Spices. And
Because there was like talk when Cardi B was just starting up about her like having a beef with Nicki and not actually, you know, I'll never be on a track with Nicki Minaj. Or like that was like a whole thing, which is it's kind of funny that they needed to start that because I think that like that wasn't a real beef. It was just them trying to like create this like we're on the same level, like recognize us. Because then Megan Thee Stallion came out right after Cardi B, and then she was kind of going with that bad bitch energy. And then I feel like right after that, after Megan, who was it? Was it Sexy Red? Or there was like one other person, was it?
Probably Glorilla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Glorilla.
Glorilla, then you got the Ice Spice, Sexy Red, Lola Brooke, Mulatto. It was Mulatto. Mulatto and Glorilla.
Yeah, but you can kind of see how the message is changing through, even if you were to look at what those artists are pushing, like how it's slowly like becoming more of that vulgar, independent, I'm going to do my own thing, I'm going to scam anyone.
I mean, when you think about it, you gotta like, I would say when you think about it, first of all, you gotta shout out to New York because most of the people you just mentioned like got New York influence. They are from New York.
Right.
So I would say New York is definitely winning right now when it comes to music. Like they're influencing the whole wave of music that's going on right now. Everybody wants to sound like a drill artist. Everybody wants to have the drill influence beats. It's like everybody wants to dance like New York. Like it's a lot of New York influence going on right now. Everybody wants to have that aggressive tone in their voice. That's all New York. Like I can definitely say New York has a strong influence on what music is nowadays. So some of that I can say it can be an influence from Nicki, but I can say all of that, some of that probably has to do with just like New York in general. Like I feel like a lot of people are just influenced by New York and they want to have that flavor, that style. So they're kind of giving off that aggression, that bad bitch energy, or just that nice delivery, and they want to come off like that hard New York artist, like the Lil Kims, the Nicki Minaj's, Foxy Brown type. They want to come off with that aggressive bad bitch female energy. But yeah, I would definitely say New York just has a strong influence on a lot of what's going on right now.
So how did you guys meet each other?
You want to say?
So we met at a lounge called Quillix, I believe. I want to say it's like Quintelix.
It's called Quillix, yeah.
Quillix Lounge. And I was performing and she was performing. I think you performed first. She definitely performed.
I performed first, so we did a thing for Cafe Soul.
Cafe Soul with Khalil. Khalil. He hosted an event at Academy for Cafe Soul, his group, his label group or whatever. And basically she performed. I just found out about it. He told me about it. I don't even know how I met him. I think it was on Instagram, but he told me to come out to it, perform. You know, I came out, performed. I saw her perform, and I performed. I recorded her performance. And afterwards, I just said something to her. I was just like, "Yeah, you did very well." I was like, "I really like it."
Beautiful. Add that in it. Beautiful.
I did. I was like, I called her beautiful. I was like, "You did really well," but I didn't want to say too much. But I thought she looked good, but I didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we seen each other. The next time we saw each other, she was with some other guy, and it was weird. It was just weird because I didn't expect it to be with that person. It's just like it seemed like two sides of the spectrum. I was like, okay. Then the third time I seen her was at this MAID conference, DMV MAID conference, and it's basically just a whole bunch of networking going on for media, entertainment, music, clothing, all of that. It's all in one. I seen her there. We was having a quick conversation, and then from there, we had texted each other probably like months later, and then we just had our first date or whatever.
Okay.
So it was like, we met each other like 4 times basically.
Yeah.
We had like 4 different opportunities to meet each other, engage each other a
I
little
was
bit.
say before the third time before MayCon, I had a show February.
I forgot about
February 22nd, 2022. So 02/22/2022.
Damn, she's a robot. She's transformed.
Yeah, so I had a show and I asked him to perform. He performed for me.
No, that's you talking to me. Yeah.
So I had a show and then, I asked him to perform, come through. I asked him to come through beforehand. He said he would. And I was like, you can perform, as well. Like your music, you think you're pretty dope. So, perform if you want to. I was just showcasing my art and stuff like that.
Okay. Because I heard your sound and you have a really sick rapping style that I would love for people to hear a little later.
For sure.
Yeah, but I haven't actually heard your style.
Yeah, so I would say, so I started music in 2020, so I'm basically still like developing on it, like it's whatever I'm feeling in the moment, but I sometimes can give like a neo soul vibe, I can give alternative if I wanted to, hip hop, kind of like you get poppy, but I just gotta dive into it because I wanna. Music for me was like the help, when I was dealing with hardship as far as like my mental health and stuff like that. So I wanted to make stuff personally for me, but ways that it could affect. I wanted to make music that also could affect other people and they could feel what I feel when I have music.
Yeah, a little guest right there. She likes to be part of the whole thing. I'd love to hear some of your music. If you have any vibes that you want to share, that'd be amazing. Also, do you guys freestyle? Yeah.
To me, I ain't gonna do too much of that because I'm not gonna embarrass myself.
You can hype him up. You can be the background.
Yeah, for sure. But I have stuff that's like written and stuff like that, songs, things in the vault that I just never touched the surface of the earth yet. Besides my notes and stuff like that.
Are you guys into touching the surface of the earth, like without your shoes? Have you learned about the electromagnetic?
Yeah, grounding and stuff like that. Especially at the beach. I love sand, like on my feet. It's like amazing. Grass. I don't mind stepping in grass. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Grounding. I'm a big nature. I'm my bad.
No, you good. You good.
I'm a big nature person, so
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like she's definitely getting me more in touch with nature and stuff. Like I say beforehand, I wasn't that much in touch with nature. I'm more so like I like to be outside, but not like more so like nature, like outside in the woods and stuff. Not like her. Like she like to be out in the woods, just out just being free.
What does she do in the woods? She just speak to the trees?
That's
like,
so funny.
Yeah, she talked. The first time we went out, we hung out together. It's funny because I was the one that decided like, let's go on a walk, let's go on a hike. And when we went on a hike, we went by the trees and she was talking with the trees and she was like, I feel like I can just talk with the trees and I understand them, they understand me. And then in my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, you crazy. I'm like, nah, she probably really can talk to trees. She probably really has, a superpower, like she can really communicate and feel the tree talk. Yeah, she has the energy with the trees. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, okay, I can vibe with this. This is cool. This is different. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a little unique experience. I can vibe with this.
So was it like a first impression type of thing where you're like, first impression was really good of her, and then as you got to know her, you're like, well, I guess I just have to stick around. And
It's definitely like, okay, let me just stick around and see where this goes. And so I'm like, I hope she's not insane talking to herself.
The trees.
Like, I don't know.
You seen the mushrooms? Do you do anything with the mushrooms?
I've dabbled in mushrooms. I've dabbled in mushrooms. I like mushrooms. I'm not like super big on them now because before, you know, they can get like, not to say they can get addictive, but I think me personally, I get abused things sometimes. So I have to like.
You got addictive personality.
Yeah, addictive personality, I can say. You know, but I tried them. You know, I tried them in a healthy way, microdosing sometimes, and then also sometimes I just, you know, every once in the blue moon, have fun.
So when you trip from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that like for you? Do you just like escape? Do you see a lot of colors?
It's because I'm an artist and I paint, so I like to really dive into like the creativity. So I start seeing details that I never have seen, like just without it, you know. So I might see something here, I'm like, oh, I can highlight right there, or I can add this right there, or I just get some crazy ass fucking idea to just throw it there. That and like the outside world just looks better, and everything is just funny, and I'm just happy.
Everything funny.
Everything
for
is
sure.
funny.
Oh, you do it as well?
Yeah,
Well,
the last time I did it, we did it together.
The last time, yeah. But I would definitely say it's way more funny. Everything is funnier. It's like a high. It's definitely like a high, but it's a more unique, diverse high. I'd say it's like a more colorful high. Like, I guess I would say like a weed high is more like mellow. It's kind of like, it's not as vibrant as a mushroom high. But when I first took it, I say the first time I ever took it was insane. It was really crazy. I was listening to, because I don't really take mushrooms like that. It's just like that one time I took it and a couple other times after that. But that first time I took it, I was listening to Mac Miller's album, Circles, the recent, the Posthumous album he had. And when I was listening to the whole thing, I was just like, wow, I listen to everything. I hear everything. Like, everything was just hitting me. It was like, I wanted to cry. And it was like, as I was laughing, it felt like my chest was caving in. I was like, oh my God, I can't stop laughing. It felt like I was going like, I don't like pass out or something. I was just, it was really different. Like, I don't know, it hit me different. It just really hit me different. It's like I'm getting more in touch with my emotions as taking these mushrooms, but it's like I'm also experiencing this music in a different way. So I like how I experienced the music. It was different from the first approach that I get, because I love music, I love sounds, but it's like I can really absorb the sound when I was with the mushrooms. It was like it was like an interstellar communication going on.
It's like a sensory overload.
Yeah, it's like a sensory overload. It was just different. It was like everything was felt, like my whole body. I felt like I was in the song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different.
Have you tried recording with them or?
I never tried recording, but I don't know. I think it would be crazy if I did. It really would be crazy. I'd make some crazy sounds if I was on mushrooms recording for sure. It would definitely be like.
You think it would be good, or would it be like in your brain? You're like, oh, I killed it, but in
my mind now when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I could do something crazy, but you're right. When in the moment, I would probably I don't know, it'd be another sensory overload. I feel like it would be very overstimulating. If I'm listening to all this music and the producer, engineer, or whatever, like I feel like it would be way too overstimulating, especially with the headphones on. I'd probably go crazy.
You get caught up on the auto-tune. He's doing that the whole time.
Zoning out. The engineer would be like, hey, you still going to record? I'm just
like, I'm doing it. We're recording right now.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
I was about to say, I personally tried like recording on shrooms, and I'd say it's definitely that sensory overload thing, because you know how you like repetitively play things back. It kind of makes me feel robotic. Like I start feeling like I'm somewhere else, and like I'm like a bot now, because the sounds being played back, the frequencies, like everything going on, and it's just like a sensory overload. Yeah, you feel more creative, but like once you like in the environment and it's like the constant replay, is just like, okay, now I feel like I'm looping the autopilot, now I'm in a video game.
Yeah, because it is different for producers who are like, or listening to things to take in and out, or even engineers. And then for the artist, you're just hearing the same thing over and over again. Like, does that bug you, or is like, you have to like disconnect from that and like let the engineer do his thing?
Normally, like off the shrooms, no. Like, it's just, I understand that it's an art, and I want you to take as much time as you need on that one spot for it to sound 100%, rather than you just skip over and be like, oh, we'll come back to it later, or you just leave it out and leave it there. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I like when you pay attention to detail, because I can be a perfectionist when it comes to my art.
Yeah, same as well. Coming to music and sounds in general, I definitely feel like a perfectionist, so I'm going to want to hear it like 100 times. I don't care if you play it 10,000 times. Like, if it's something that need to be fixed, like, we gonna go and fix that. We gonna gonna tweak that. We're gonna make sure we get the perfect sound, even if it's not perfection. We're gonna make sure it's close to perfection. We're gonna make sure that God Himself came down and touched this music. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think it's just like, for me, I don't know. I think that, well, because I would say on the engineering side of it, because I used to engineer at one point too. When I used to have artists come in, I would say it also depends on the music. Because if I don't like the music, I ain't gonna lie, if I'm keep hearing it over and over again, I'm just like, all right, I'm not trying to hear this no more. I'm like, let me hurry up and tweak this. Let me hurry up and get this together so he can hurry up and get out the studio, or she can get out the studio, because I don't like this. But that's me being honest, because I'm like, you know, you gotta be open to criticism as an artist. Right. I'm accepted to criticism, constructive criticism, or rather if it's, you know, you need to tweak that, you need to do better with this, well, cool. But, you know, sometimes sonically just don't sound well. And people come into the studio and they just record shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest, record shit.
Who are you thinking of when you think about, like,
see, like I said, I'm gonna be honest. We gonna be honest. We gonna be honest. Like, when I think of shit, I'm not gonna lie, I think of like Sexy Red. I think of shit on the beat. Like, I feel like that shit. I think of like Sukiyana. I think of the Sexy Reds. I think of like the Baby Trons, the who else? The Lil Pumps. Like, that's why I think of like shit on the beat. Like, people that have really no talent, it's just somebody you picked up off the street and you just tell them, yeah, make a song the best that you can, and they make a song the best that they can, and it comes out as shit. Like, it sounds like golden shit. Like, you just rap shit and gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't sound good at all, sonically at all.
Okay, so then why is it so popular?
I feel like a lot of music is so popular nowadays because we have become so dumbed down in a society to where it's like we can hear shit and it's just like, wow, that sounds so good, but we don't really take the time to digest the music anymore. Everything's so microwave.
It's the beat.
Yeah, it's the beat. It's really the beat. The beats are fantastic. The producers are amazing. The engineers are amazing to even make that shit sound good. But I feel like definitely has a lot to do with society, how society has like downplayed a lot of music nowadays. Because like we will hear something that's like very talented, but we'll be like, okay, it's cool. But then we hear something that's like the absolute shit, but we're like, okay, this sounds good. But the only reason why we think it sounds good is because we're so used to hearing that shit. It's what the labels are pushing. It's what the media is pushing. So when we constantly see something, whatever is popular, whatever sounds good, like to the media or whatever the media is pushing, we're like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. But it's like we're not hearing the talented shit. I mean, not the shit, but we're not hearing the talented people because they're in the underground. Most of the talent is in the underground. The underground is the talent. Mainstream now is just garbage.
Especially if it's catchy. Especially if it's like catchy and you got it like pump it through Instagram reels like 25. It's gonna be in your head and you gonna know the song even though you don't like the song. It's just there. It's just there for you.
Right.
It's kind of like brainwashing when you think about it. Like, if you constantly have a product and you keep showing this product wherever you're going, rather if it's like billboards or TikToks, Instagram, Twitter, you can see it on ads, sponsorships. It can be like a cereal commercial. It can be like a condom commercial. It just be like anything. The more you're seeing it, the more it's like, okay, let me listen to it. But they have the bandwidth to do that. The labels have the bandwidth to do that. Not underground artists, not anybody who's like an underground label. They don't have the bandwidth to really get the talented artists out there like that. But some of them do. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, you see them like kind of break the mainstream a bit, or they'll be in the underground where they have a strong fan base and it's really circulating around and people are getting adjusted to it. But for the most part, the most that we're hearing is the garbage. That's the most that's being pushed out to us. So it's like a brainwash thing. The people are hearing that, the audience are hearing that, the demographics are hearing that, and they're getting more adjusted to it. So it's like the more garbage that is being put out, the more garbage that's what we're going to receive. We're going to love that. We're going to keep enjoying that because it's like that's what we have. It's like
you just. But anyway, no, I like what you were saying. Have you heard about the meeting that some really high executives had in the music industry with this one? Like they got a few like the elites up there that are controlling everything. Had a big meeting with a lot of the executives in hip hop, and they were pretty much telling them to brainwash the mainstream because they wanted to monetize their private prison systems and make them like very lucrative. And so like they were telling the the industry, the music industry, to push the robbing, stealing, like doing all the bad stuff into the mainstream, so that way you'd have more crime. So that way the prison systems would be more, they would benefit from that.
See, I can definitely see that. I never heard of that meeting, but I can definitely 100% see that, because a lot of the music that we are listening to nowadays is very vulgar, it's very provocative, it's very destructive. And I can't say like it wasn't back in the day, because in the 90s it was the same way, in the early 2000s it was the same way, even the late 2000s, early 2010s it was the same way. But I feel like the only way that's a little bit different now is because music back then had storytelling to it. It was like, it kind of wasn't telling you to do things. It was just like, okay, this is my backstory, this is my background, this is my upbringing of what I'm doing. But it's like in the same way, they're not telling you to do that. Nowadays, like, it's kind of like you're forcing and you're glorifying certain things. It's like, okay, I can talk about, oh yeah, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? A woman would be like, fuck that nigga. Make sure you get that bag from him. You make sure you put that pussy on him. You can get that money from him afterwards. It's like you telling her to do some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, women would be like, nah, make sure you get your bag. Make sure you stay on your independency. Make sure you doing what you need to do so you can do this and do that and do blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it kind of comes off that way differently nowadays, because it's like the storytelling is different now. The storytelling is more like we're kind of glorifying and we're like demanding. It's like glorifying demand now. Back then it was like storytelling and kind of uplifting. That's why I feel like it's a difference now. But not even just that, with men as well. Like the men, they were talking about what they did as far as like what they sold, how they sold it. But it's like, okay, at the same time, like this is how I was brought up. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm not saying it's good, but it's like, this is what I did. This is what they did around me. You know, but it's like, don't do that though. At the same time, like the Mos Defs, the Commons, the KRS-Ones, you got the Nas's, the Tupacs, the Biggies. They're talking about what they did, but they're also telling you what to do to not be in these type of situations. But now we have the other rappers on the other side of the spectrum. Was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing the purse. I'm killing this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a difference now. Like, that's why I said the storytelling is different. It's like a different side of the spectrum now. Before it was like the upbringing. Now it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. You do it too. That's why I feel like we made that disconnect somewhere.
Yeah. What do you think?
So I personally never heard about the meeting, but I already understood that, like, you know, it's an agenda within the music industry as far as like over sexualization and the murder and the negativity, just like nasty frequency. You know, they're signing and pushing these artists and stuff like that and putting more into these kids' faces and stuff like that. That's why we have things like, well, they're trying to ban TikTok and stuff like that. And then if you look at TikTok over here, it's different from, you know, like Japan, like TikTok in Japan. Like they're not pushing the same thing on the algorithm out here as they are in like other countries and stuff like that. And it's like, we really got to sit back and think about, like, it's really a war. Like, it's a spiritual war in our minds. And it's like which side are you going to choose? You just got to buckle up and, you know, follow God, stay protected, and you know, just try to be against the agenda, even though that's not what they want. It's not what they're pushing. It's not what may not get you seen quicker, but it's like you gotta stand for something and have morals. So at the end of the day, because I feel like there's life after this, and we gotta live for it now. You know.
All right. I mean, even if there wasn't life after, it's like who you are now, it's like you want to be the best version of who you are.
Exactly.
And it's like there's always going to be some sort of like consequence to an action. So if you start talking about all this negativity, you're going to attract negativity.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know about a lot of people, you know, like I got little cousins, nieces, and nephews, and some people, like, you know, they had children and they still like feeding into the agenda, and that's where it's scary, because it's like the kids looking up to it, and it's like you can't even be like, don't be like me, because like, Mommy, why you doing that then? You know, Daddy, why you doing that? Because it's deeper. Like, when you step back and be like, nah, I can't do that no more.
You know the song, well, what would you do? What'd you do when you're crying at home with the bedroom floor because he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little money. You know? That's what you just made me think. You know that song?
I'm not familiar.
You would have sang along if you knew that song, because that's a famous one. But that's pretty much what she's saying, is that her back's against the wall and she can't do anything else, so she sleeps with the man for a little bit of money so that she can provide for her kids. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, she's not proud of it.
Yeah, that's why with our recent collaboration project, Dead Image, we try to bring a lot of attention to that as far as like, you know, what are your morals? Like, what do you believe in? Like, what is the image that you're putting out? Like, it's called Dead Image. Like, people often go outside of themselves to find who they are and what their image is instead of going within and like truly building that. And, you know, we wanted to shed light on it. Like, I have a bar like, what you gonna do with an offer? With your back to the wall and you starving. As you throws you solid, you gonna sell your soul for that dollar? Because it's really a question in a matter of time. Like, you know, if you do ever get the opportunity, because a lot of people are chasing like creative things and stuff like that, and it's a wicked industry. So when you do get to that point, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna sell your soul, or you gonna stand on everything that you was taught and what you was brought up in, or you gonna let somebody remold you into something that you're not, or bring out the demons in you? Like what you gonna do with the offer? It's the negativity and the bad frequencies and stuff like that. It's more so getting pushed, and it's like if you're a good artist, you gotta work 10 times harder. Like, talent doesn't even matter anymore. It's like, it's just a numbers game, and like I said, if that's what they want to push, then that's what's gonna have the most numbers. But you know, as far as within our music, we're trying to really negate that and go against that. That's why with our recent collaboration, Dead Image, we talk a lot about like the falsified image of oneself, of one going outside of themselves to find who they are instead of going within. That's why it would be a dead image. That's why we can't really look out into what's going on in the industry or feel like we have to be influenced, because, you know, it's not always the right route, and the quickest route isn't always the right path. Yeah, so I would just say, like, you know, continue to go within. Don't get overtaken by the negativity or the influences of the industry or what's being pushed within the media. Like, be one with God, always lead with God, and, you know, understand that we have to live within our best version now and be our best version and for what's to come after.
That's beautiful. I love that.
That's well said.
Yeah, like we just leave it there and go home. I'd love for you to share some of your greatness with the world. And so what song do you have for the world today?
This song is Never Liked You. It's a song that I released about, I want to say, 5 days ago.
Okay.
It was actually an EP. It was called Never Liked You, for the record. And it was like a revamp of Bow Wow and Sierra's Like You. So I did the same type of cover art as Bow Wow. I had me like with the hoodie on, making this like weird type of face. But I tried to emulate the same type of cover, and also sampled the beat with the guy, the producer Skinny Moose. Shout out to Skinny Moose. He sampled the beat. And he made a whole new beat from the original Like You beat, and I just did my own thing on that, my own flavor on it. But it was kind of like in a little New York drill style, but I feel like I kind of added like a little DMV flavor to it. So it's like a little bit of New York drill mixed with a DMV flavor mixed with a early 2000s style. So
Okay.
yeah.
So let's hear it.
Oh, yeah,
Can't wait to hear it.
Where you going, baby? Tell me where you at. I got you charged, I ain't talking about a scat. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say men the same, not me though, I bring the flame. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say men the same, not me though, I bring the flame. Seductive eyes, tell me what's your motive. Don't think you out here running game, cause I'm the one that's coaching. I know these men be pillow talking and they think they got motion, but I'm a real player, keep my combo short just like a booty tank. Switching lanes, that ain't never good, you out here riding waves, finding names. They say call the drill, we don't get how to sing. Talking business, maybe I will entertain, but it ain't that type of party. Break fast, no Charlemagne. Oh, that's nasty. Catch me where the cash be. I stay on your mind because I'm present, I know last week. She ain't never had nobody show show her real intention, so her value keep on dropping, and that bar might do the limbo. Hey, ask me what's no problem, I don't know, forgot to mention. Put up caution signs when they be yellow bones, just like the Simpsons. Hey, I'm not from Chicago, but I'm sick of Illinois. Shock me with your true intentions, had to go and plug them cords. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say men the same, not me though, I bring the flame, huh? She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say men the same, not me though, I bring the flame, huh? You made your choice, not me though, I bring the flame. You changed the story, not me though, I bring the flame. You want remorse, not me though, I bring the flame. Let's clear the air, no sage. You should know I never liked you. You lit the torch, not me though, I bring the flame. You felt the scorch, not me though, I bring the flame. You want remorse, not me though, I bring the flame. Let's clear the air, no sage. You should know I never liked you. Run it like Chris Brown, cause I ain't rushing to be honest. I got silver on my mind, you know the hydraulics can't function. All I see is victims silent, blaming others for their suffering. Go ahead, run it like Chris Brown, cause I ain't rushing to be honest. I got silver on my mind, you know them hydraulics can't function. All I see is victims silent, blaming others for their suffering. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say men the same, not me though, I bring the flame, huh? She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She like my style, she like my drip, she like the finer things. She say men the same, not me though, I bring the flame, huh? You made your choice, not me though, I bring the flame. Change the story, not me though, I bring the flame. You want remorse, not me though, I bring the flame. Let's clear the air, no sage. You should know I never liked you. You lit the torch, not me though, I bring the flame. You felt the scorch, not me though, I bring the flame. You want remorse, not me though, I bring the flame. Let's clear the air, no sage. You should know I never liked you.
Dang, okay. I wonder what she liked about you. Man, okay. So that one just came out.
Yeah, that one just came out. SoundCloud, YouTube, and Audio Mac. I ain't want to release it on all platforms because I don't want to get sued since it is Bow Wow and Sierra sample in the beat.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely SoundCloud, YouTube, Audio Mac. Just released it 5 days ago. It's doing pretty well right now. I would say, I shout out to Bow Wow, shout out to Jermaine Dupri, shout out to whoever the producer was of that track. But shout out to them, Sierra, shout out to all of them. For even, creating the original song, so I can even pay homage to it with my cover art and my revamp of the song and the sample with the producer putting everything together for me to lay myself on it.
Okay. And then, of course, it's a collab, kind of.
Yeah, it's a collab, too.
Yeah.
She is the one in the background vocal. She is the one that helped project the song that how it is as well. All the you should know I never liked you, and also most of the parts that you hear in the background that you hear like a woman in the background. That's all her with her pretty vocals.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
She carried it.
Nice. She definitely did. She definitely did. She set the tone for the song for sure. Like she definitely added a lot of icing on the cake.
Yeah,
the icing on the cake was
beautiful. So did you guys, when did you guys make that a while ago and then it just came out, or is it something you guys were like, you know what, we're really feeling each other, like let's do something together?
Yeah, it came out a while ago. So originally I was just gonna do the song by myself, but then I was thinking like I wanted a different touch on it because like the original song with Bow Wow and Sierra, it was 2 people. So I was like, I gotta get a woman on the song. So I need to have like, even if it's just not her saying like a whole verse on it, like I wanna have a woman on it, giving some type of flair on it. So I reached out to her and I told her like, you want to just do the background vocals on the song to give it some extra oomph on the parts that I'm saying. So she came to the studio with me and she added her layers onto it. And
I'm sorry, you just said reached out like I was far. Like I was far. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so I didn't mean to reach out to her like that. I didn't mean it like that. She being technical. She like being technical. But
she lived next door.
Yeah, like. I reached out to her. I texted her and said, yeah, you want to get on the song? You want to do that? She was like, yeah, I'll definitely get on that. I'm like, cool. We went to the studio. She laid her layers on the track. And it just sounded perfect. Like, everything was just icy. Like, I loved how she added her layers onto it. I love how everything just meshed well. Like, everything was just perfect. It was just perfection. like I said, it don't have to be perfection, but if it's almost perfection, like chef's kiss.
And that was our fourth collaboration.
That was our fourth collaboration.
Dead Image, Bonsu.
That was the fourth collaboration because the first collaboration we have is Dead Image, and that's an EP basically about falsified personas that people have in this everyday new age world that we live in, and we just speak on it and basically give our perspective of how we deal with those people and what people can do to get out of that dead image. And then the second collaboration that we have is Bonsu. Bonsu is basically a song about her that I wrote. It's basically a love song, but it's about our journey that we've been dealing with in the past 2 years that we've been dealing with each other. The 2 years that we've been dealing with each other. Well, 3 years, considering the first year we were like friends, associates and stuff, but that was our journey. That was 3 years of dealing with that. And then going to the third collaboration, which would be this song, Never Liked You, which we came together on a whole different flavor. So the second collaboration was like R&B. The first collaboration was hip hop. Third collaboration was kind of like pop rap. This is like pop rap.
Yeah.
Kind of like pop rap, yeah.
Cool. I like that. And so we have, you also do your own thing too.
Yeah, sure. Now that we on this Dead Image topic, I feel like I should just play Dead Image and just not do what, you know what I'm saying? I mean, might as well just give it a little.
So what's the name of this song?
So this is from the EP Dead Image. We have Volume 1 and Volume 2. I just figured we just go ahead and show Volume 2 since we've been talking about it.
But before we play Volume 2, just to get a gauge of the song, so the song basically is about, I want to say her verse is basically about her. Well, you explain your verse first.
Well, basically, I started off like, what you gonna do with an offer? And the offer is just basically like, you're back against the wall and you get this opportunity to, have all the fame, all the money in the world, whatever the case may be, whatever success looks like to you. You get in that position and it's like, what you gonna do for that offer? You gonna do right by it, or you gonna disown everything that you were taught, or are you going to go against your morals to get in the position you need to be in, or are you going to, follow along with what you've been taught and, grow within that, or,
They got it.
Yeah.
I would say my part of the song was a little different because she approached hers as like, what she deals with in her daily life and also the things that she views and how she sees it and how she perceives it. And in my case, how I wanted to do it was a totally different side of the spectrum. So I wanted to do it as in, I am that person. So I am that person that we are speaking about. And then the second half of my verse, I'm talking to a perspective from myself, like what you can do to get out of that false persona, like exactly how you can do it step by step. And what, if you do not follow that, what's going to happen to you and also your successors, predecessors, and everybody around you, like what's going to happen to the whole circle of life around you, and including yourself.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I get a little deep. I touch on, kind of a bit on mental health a little bit in the most summarized way possible. And also trying to shed light on a little positivity, inspiration, and uplift a little bit within the song. So, yeah.
All right. Looking forward to hearing it.
Let's go.
Let's see. Here we go.
It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bring it back to life. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bless your soul tonight. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bring it to the light. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma get that bitch some light.
I see dead people, dead images in the flesh, I be scared for people. Who was you? Cause I barely need you. If it's all for the fame, I can't save my people. Now you want me to slay my ego with all due respect, I'm compared to people. To add to the fact I divide the evil. Subtract from my life, now I gotta get equal. What you gonna do with an offer? Was your back to the wall and you started? As you thorough, you solid. You gon' sell your soul for that dollar? And I'm something like a goddess. They blinded by my aura. Covered by the most highest. I'm blessed by the plethora. If they pass you the torch, then what you gonna do? Better find your way through darkness. I was stuck in a rut, couldn't get no more fuss, consuming nothing but that garbage. By the jump from the bus, I was gonna give up, no shame, no, I'm just being honest. Now what's up, and it's stuck, I've been at it for a month, bring the seeds back to my garden. Quarantine made it clear, I was looking in the mirror, trying to figure out who I'ma be. I was moving in a hurry, then my vision got blurry, let me tell you now what I see.
Hey Nissi, oh Nissi, now what do you see?
I see a whole lot of fakeness, I'm wannabes.
What else?
The boys flashing money and the girls flashing cheese, but I'ma mind my business, that ain't my cup of tea. I was stuck in a rut, couldn't get no more fun. Asking God why he couldn't even give me no love. Now what's up in the get stuck. I've been at it for months, thanking God, cause I could've been giving up. They consumed by the bluff, man, I done had enough. Can't get with them, they so out of touch. I'm consumed by the blinds, I've been focused on money. Just watch out, my plot thicken up.
It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bring it back to life. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bless your soul tonight. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bring it to the light. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma get that bitch some life. What you gonna do for them commas? No, I got friends, but I still might rob them. What you gonna do for them commas? Selling my soul for biz or raro. Run away from problems, pride too hard to swallow. Still a good guy, no collar and ain't show no mercy often. Put him in the coffin, he ain't even see my face. Don't make no mistake, cause when I re-up, everything fall in place. 12 think they control us, flip the channel, wait till they get breaks. Family just a word, we share blood, but my hood it homo weight. My role model shining, pushing, or they locked up in that cage. So you proud of being mixed up with drama? Why you keep gassing your past? That's why your present ain't solid. Never heard accountability, maybe issues with father. Losing life, shit, that's eternity. Can't replace the fallen. 40 clips don't make men. 30 years not in your plans. Might fall short in your 20s. Karma catching up to your sins. If you had a baby, little homie wouldn't even see 10. It's hard to keep your vision when that trauma broke your lens. It's time to learn forgiveness. Ain't external, it's within. Damage in the flesh, but I'ma bring it back to life. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bless your soul tonight. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma bring it to the light. It's some damage in the flesh, but I'ma get that bitch some life.
What you gonna do with an offer? 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 What you gonna do with an offer?
You guys are like a bunch of chickens. It's just bucket over there. Oh man, that energy is just on another level.
Yeah, but it was a way of putting a deep, meaningful message in a fun way. Something you can still dance to and something you can vibe with, but also get a message from it and feel uplifted.
I loved it. It's dang. So there's kind of some competition going on here. It's kind of like the better lyricist and the artist. Like I see, like it's you guys are a tag team.
Yeah. I would say he definitely inspires me a lot as far as within music and me expanding on that and finding myself within it, finding my sound and expanding my lyricism and learning more within it because he's definitely a vet at it, you know. And I appreciate you. You know,
That's beautiful.
You doing your thing, you know what I'm saying?
It's just closing words and just kind of just seeing where we're at. So what do you guys have going on?
So currently right now, I recently just signed with the modeling agency. This is the first time I've ever done that. I've always been on edge about it just because I don't like having other people in control of me and my art. So I just feel like I couldn't, submit to an agency. But I finally did it, and I think it'll be a beautiful journey. I'm excited to see what comes next out of it. I've already been working on so much with them as far as like the opportunities presented to me. It's just about still getting out there, going out there and applying myself and building myself as that model. As far as outside of modeling, music, I'm writing something right now. Doing something to Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye. It's a very dope beat, and I decided that I wanted to hop on it, speak a little real on it. As far as that, I'm still doing my paintings and stuff like that.
Okay.
I need to get more on it, stop procrastinating, and find some more inspiration so I can really just sit down and just lock in with it some more. But
You find inspiration with the Egyptian. You got this Egyptian sign right here.
oh yeah, the Ankh.
What is it?
The Ankh.
Yeah.
It's like it means life, basically, all life, eternal life, afterlife.
So are you into like the Egyptian
Well,
history?
actually, I got this book right now that I'm reading. I think it's pronounced the Kamadic teachings and stuff like that. But it speaks a lot about it. It's called the Sacred Woman, a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit by Queen Afua. And it's actually pretty interesting. It talks a lot about like sacredness, your sacred space, your sacred energy, sacred body, like just everything. It dives deep into like the sectors and a lot of Egyptian teachings and what they believed in and how you could connect it to now and apply it in your life to become better, stuff like that. So I'm kind of,
you know anything
I'm
about
spiritual. I don't.
He's called Thoth.
Is that a god?
Yeah, he's the god of wisdom in the Egyptian mythology.
Yeah.
He's like the god of all gods.
Oh, that's what's up. So I'm not
I
like.
think I'm saying it right. Thoth.
Yeah, I'm not super like knowledgeable in Egyptian.
It's probably Thoth because I probably joked around about it.
Yeah, Thoth. Yeah.
Thothy.
Yeah. But nah, that's what I'm on now. I was looking to relocate, but I think God showed me I need to slow down a little bit and just take my time here before I go.
Oh, well, where do you plan on going?
I wanted to go to New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's where my agency is. So, and it's the heart of fashion there. So I just wanted to feel like rebuild my home or rebuild a foundation there and just see how far I could go with it if I sit within it and really lock in instead of being here doing the back and forth as I've been doing for a couple years.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you've decided that you're going to keep doing that for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still, just be here and keep building my foundation here before I go any, too far.
Yeah. You don't want to spread yourself too thin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
I say for right now, kind of working on 3 different projects in 3 different facets. So the first project I'm working on is working on a book. So I want to work on more so like dark fantasy. So kind of like, I would say like not necessarily Harry Potter, not necessarily Hunger Games, but kind of like in a different aspect. Not
Harry Hunger?
Harry Hunger, yeah, a bit. Harry Hunger mixed with anime. It's like kind of like best of both worlds. I kind of want to give it from like all aspects and all facets. But yeah, I would say more so like dark fantasy, comedy, drama, action, and comedy. I said comedy. But yeah, we do have a lot of comedy in there because I just love the laughing and jokes and stuff. But yeah, the book is basically going to be called Desmercia. And it's basically played off of Destiny, Murder, and Inertia. So basically it's like destiny. The inertia is like, the resistant, blah, 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 the change. So the destiny is like the people being resistant to change with murder and all that. But that's what the whole basis of the book will be about. But it will be about black superhumans basically coming up in their area, dealing with what they're dealing with. But they have a heritage. They have a heritage are basically coming from, the first land of like where everything was going. Oh, let me restate that.
Beginning of time or something like that?
Let me restate that because I'm getting all tongue tied and I'm saying stuff that's not even what I'm saying. I was saying stuff that, hold up. Let me rephrase that.
All right.
So the book will be about basically black superhumans who have a heritage of being the first people on Earth, basically. So their ancestors were like the first people on Earth, and they were basically sending these people to the new Earth, but they didn't know what the new Earth was going to be. They just wanted to send all their siblings, all their kids, their 4 sons and their daughter. They sent them off basically to have a future because there was a lot of war and just a whole bunch of deception and corruption going on in that current time of being the first people on Earth. And it was all 3 of the factions that were the first 3 factions on Earth were battling each other. They were fighting each other, killing each other off. But that one faction was deceiving everybody. So they sent somebody from the main faction sent their 5 kids off to basically have a new future. So that one faction that survived, they went to go repopulate the Earth, and they were like the founding fathers, and they let all of that deception and corruption be gone through time until those 5 kids finally woke up from their slumber in these little pods, and they woke up into this new world. And the new world is basically what we have, Desmercia. So
that's cool.
Definitely.
I can't wait till you.
Yeah, that's gonna be something crazy because I feel like my writing is so amazing, especially when it comes to books. Like I love my writing when it comes to music, but I feel like when it comes to books, my writing is like even more crazier. Like I have a crazy, like beyond her mind. Like, but that's one of the projects I'm working on, Desmercia. I want to get that book finished by either the end of this year or the beginning of next year.
You gotta finish it now because this podcast is out by next week. And then try to take that idea.
Well, they can try, but they won't have the same premise. They won't be as detailed and as in depth as how I made it. But aside from that, with music related, I'm releasing a song with my friend Apo, and he's another talented artist as well. We're releasing a song called Question Mark on the 22nd of March, and that song is like a hip hop energy, hype energy song, energetic song. It's like talking about basically people who want to reside with us, people that want to be cool with us, but we won't let them because it's like the times where we could have been cool. You didn't allow us to be a part of that because we felt like we were misfits. We felt like we were outsiders. So the question mark is like, what we're asking to y'all, like what's the sudden change, basically.
Okay.
And also after that, I want to work on releasing another song, which is gonna be like a short song, but it's like more so pop vibes. And I want to have this girl that I know dance in the video, and it's like basically like a pop song. It's like how I started off, girl, I know it's hard to face it. Looked death in his face and told him I do the erasing. I don't want a party opportunity I'm chasing, so I ignore them calls and cut your water off. I wish I never got involved. Got involved. But through that, I want to have her like dancing in the song, and I'm like just
I want her to be dancing too.
yeah. And it's like a little silhouette type thing, and like I'm just like kind of like rapping the whole part, singing the whole part or whatever. But I want to work on that after the question mark song and release that like sometime in April. And I also want to release an EP toward the end of April, which will be called basically the late night horrors.
Okay.
And it'll be 2 songs in it. It'll be the after party and the hangover. And it'll basically be about a woman who's a gold digger and the man, how he feels afterwards after dealing with her.
Okay.
But that was just based off a dream that I had about a gold digger, and I felt like I was this guy that was dealing with her, and I was being taken advantage of her. So I just turned that into music from the dream. Because some of my music is from inspirations from my dream, because I have a lot of bizarre dreams. It's just the craziest dreams. So I wanted to turn that into an EP. Okay. So that's the music related second project that I'm working on. Is the pop song question mark and the EP. Those are all a part of the second project for music. And the third project I'm working on is just like more merch, more clothing. I just want to get more into clothing and merch, because I already have a heat press machine, but I need to use it more.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, definitely need to use it more, because I have a lot of ideas that I've just been constructing, drawing, and doodling and working on. So I really want to turn those, put pen in the paper, and just get those out there. But those, I ain't gonna speak too much on the designs. But
yeah, I got some ideas too. We could do some sort of collab.
Yeah, for sure, because I definitely want to use it. I've been sitting on that heat press for too long, and I used it when I first got it, but then after that, it was a period of time where it was just like stress, depression, and then I stopped using it. So I definitely want to get back into like using that heat press machine for sure, because I get so many ideas I want to put onto clothing, like pants, shirts, hoodies, hats. Like it's so many ideas I be having, not to like bring them out into the world for people to share them. But
that's so cool. How'd you get a heat press?
I bought it. So I was like, it was a period of time where I wanted to just like really dive into clothing. So I took my time, and I was on Google, and I was just like researching, went on YouTube, and I'm just like searching like what's the best heat press machine. I found out what was the best one to use for like people that wanted to start out doing like heat press and doing like stuff of that nature. And they told me to use the I forgot what's it called, but I got that one. And then after that, I was just like, okay, so where do I go from here? So I'm researching, like, what do I need to get next? They was talking about, like, heat-resistant tape and talking about getting certain, the bamboo paper and all that, and just getting more, like, shirts, plain shirts and all that, just to start out to see how it looks. And I'm just like, all right, I got this thing in the bag now. I've seen the tutorials. I'm like, I'm about to get into it, for real.
That's sick. So when you guys walk up to an elevator, do you always, are you the one who just, like, he pressed?
I was like, where's this going?
Honestly, I like to keep the bar real low with the jokes. That's cool though. That's cool, because I feel like being like in control of the operation, like the production of something, being in control of every step of the way, you're gonna get exactly what you want at the end.
Yeah, you have completely creative control over everything. Creative control is necessary, because you don't want anybody to just divulge or just to, poison your ideas. Like, you want everything to be 100% you. Yeah, it's gonna change who you are. It's gonna change who you are as a person. It's gonna change, like, and that's the main thing. I feel like that's probably like my closing word, like, for just anybody watching this, or just in general, like, just to be yourself. Like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. Don't let anybody poison your mindset with things that they are dealing with in their daily lives, as far as stress, depression, insecurities, flaws. Like, they're projecting that stuff onto you. Don't let anybody project anything onto you. Be your own true self, and know that you are good enough to do anything that you can do in this world that you want to chase, that you're passionate about, ambitious about, and stick with it. Don't start procrastinating. Don't get lazy. Don't fall for distractions. Just focus on 100% total concentration throughout your life. Just always had total concentration and total focus throughout your life, and that is the most positive and most, I would say, ambitious advice that I can give anyone, is to stay in total focus and concentration throughout your whole life.
There we go. I love that.
We are all uniquely created, and we cannot make it being someone else. You gotta be yourself. That was your purpose. Be yourself, and that's where you will find the most success. Stay original.
Wanna run away with you.